O-Level Chemistry, Paper Code 5070, Paper 1 Variant 2, May June 16. Today we will solve question 1 to question number 20. Question 1. Which row correctly identifies the gas? Option A. Gas is given chlorine, test is given damp litmus paper, and the observation the litmus paper turns blue. Chlorine is acidic in nature. Acidic gases turn blue litmus paper to red, so option A is incorrect. Option B. Ammonia, test is given damp litmus paper, and the observation the litmus paper turns red. Ammonia is alkaline in nature. Alkaline or basic in nature gases do not turn blue to red, they turn red litmus paper to blue. So option B is also incorrect. Option C. Gas is given oxygen, test lime water, and observation no change is observed. Lime water is not used to identify oxygen gas. Lime water is used for identification of carbon dioxide, so C is also incorrect. Here correct option is option D, where the gas is given sulfur dioxide, the test is given acidified aqueous potassium magnate, and the observation the color of the solution changes from purple to colorless. So here correct option D. Question number 2. A student plans two experiments. Experiment 1. Find the concentration of a solution of sodium hydroxide by titration with dilute hydrochloric acid. Experiment 2. Find the rate of the reaction between pieces of calcium carbonate and dilute hydrochloric acid by measuring the volume of gas given off every minute. A flask is provided. Which other apparatus is needed? In experiment 1, we are doing titration. For titration, we need a flask, we need a burette and a pipette. Flask is given here, so other two apparatus that is required in experiment 1 are burette and pipette. Now for experiment 1, burette and pipette is given in option B and C. So possible options are B and C. What about the experiment 2? In experiment 2, we have to find out the rate of reaction by measuring the volume of gas. For rate of reaction, we need a stopwatch or a clock. For measuring the volume, we need a flask or we need a syringe. Now, syringe and clock is given in option C, so correct option is option C, where for experiment 1, it is given burette and pipette, and for experiment 2 it is given gas syringe and clock. Question number 3. Q is a pure sample of a substance that has a single RF value of 0.9. In the chromatogram shown, which letter represent Q? Here it is given Q is a pure sample with single RF. In option A, we are looking, we have two RF values. So A is not the possible option. The possible options are B, C and D. What is meant by RF value? RF value is the ratio in between the distance travelled by the compound and the distance travelled by the solvent. What is meant by distance travelled by the compound? The distance from the baseline to the spot. It is called distance travelled by the compound. And the distance from the baseline to the solvent front, it is called distance travelled by the solvent. And RF is the ratio in between these two distances. Now in B, the spot is in between the center of solvent and baseline. So here if we get the RF value, it will be approximately 0.5. Here in D, the spot is almost at a distance of 3/4 from the baseline. So here the RF value will be approximately 0.75. So correct option will be option C. In C, we will get approximate RF value of 0.9. So here our correct option will be option C. Question number 4. Which statement about the isotopes of bromine is correct? They are atoms with the same number of option A electrons and a different number of protons. Isotope means same atomic number but different mass number. Or we can say isotope means same number of proton but different number of neutron. And in a neutral atom, number of proton and number of electrons are same, they are equal. So we can say isotope means same number of proton or same number of electron but different number of neutron. In A, since it is given different number of proton, so this option is incorrect because number of protons should be same. Option B, neutrons and the same number of electron. Here we have given neutrons and the same number of electron. Number of electrons are same but number of neutrons are not same. So B is also incorrect. Option C, proton and the same chemical properties. Yes, it is the correct option. In isotopes, number of protons remains same and also the chemical properties remain same. Because chemical properties depends on number of protons or number of electrons. Since here number of electrons are same in isotope, so chemical properties will be same in all the atoms of the isotopes. So this one is the correct option. What is given in the option D? Protons and the same physical properties. Yes, protons are same but physical properties are not same because of the different number of neutrons. Since the number of neutrons are different in isotope, so because of the different number of neutrons, the atomic mass of the atoms will be different. And because of the difference of the atomic masses, there will be different densities or there will be different melting point or different boiling point. So physical property may be different but chemical property will remain same. So our correct option is option C, where it is given same number of protons and same chemical properties. Question number 5. Compound Z is made from element X and element Y. Compound Z is a good conductor of electricity when molten but not when solid. Ionic compounds are good conductor of electricity in molten or in aqueous state, but they are bad conductor of electricity in solid state. So here compound Z will be an ionic compound. Which statement is correct? Option A, compound Z has a strong forces of attraction between electrons and positive ion. In an ionic compound, there is not electrons, there is positive ions and negative ions, there is cations and anions. So this option A is incorrect, where it is given force of attraction between electrons and positive ions. Option B, compound Z has strong forces of attraction between negative and positive ions. Yes, it is correct. In an ionic compound, in between cations and anions, there is strong force of attraction. What is given in the option C? Element X and Y are both metals. No, it is incorrect. One of them will be metal and second one will be a non-metal. In option D, it is given element X and Y are both non-metals. It is again incorrect. One should be metal, second one will be from non-metal. So option D is also incorrect. Correct option, option B, where it is given compound Z has strong forces of attraction between negative ions and positive ions. Question number 6 is same as in paper 1 variant 1. This video I have already uploaded. I will share the link in the description. So for further explanation of the questions that are same in paper 1 variant 1, please watch that video. Question number 7 is again same. Question number 8. Ethene is a covalent compound with a simple molecular structure. Which statement about ethene is correct? Option A, ethene is a liquid at room temperature and pressure. It is incorrect. Ethene is a gas at room temperature and pressure. Option B, liquid ethene conducts electricity. Ethene has simple molecular structure. It is a covalent compound and covalent compounds are not good conductor of electricity. They are bad conductor of electricity. So this option B is also incorrect. Option C, one ethene molecule contains 16 protons. Yes, it is correct. The formula of ethene is C2H4. We have 2 carbon and 4 hydrogen. In 1 carbon, the proton number is 6. Means number of proton in 1 carbon is 6. Here we have 2 carbon, so total number of proton in carbon it will be 12. In 1 hydrogen, we have 1 proton, here we have 4 hydrogen, so total number of proton in hydrogen will be 4. Now total number of proton will be 12 plus 4, it will be 16. So this one is correct option where it is given 1 ethene molecule contains 16 protons. What is given in option D? The total number of shared pairs of electron in ethene is 5. Here in between carbon and hydrogen we have one shared pair. Now second shared pair in between this carbon and hydrogen. Now third shared pair and fourth shared pair. In between carbon and hydrogen we have 4 shared pair. Now in between these 2 carbon we have double bond. So in between these 2 carbon we have 2 shared pair. So total shared pair will be 4 plus 2, it will be 6. So it is not 5, it is 6. So option D is incorrect. Correct option, option C. Question number 9. An organic compound has the molecular formula C8H16O4. What is the empirical formula of the compound? Empirical formula means simplest formula, means the atoms should be in simplest ratio. To get the empirical formula, we have to divide this C8H16O4 by 4. When we will divide by 4, it will become C2, it will become H4, it will become O. So empirical formula will be C2H4O. C2H4O is given in option A. So correct option, option A. Question number 10 is same as in paper 1 variant 1. 11 is also same in paper 1 variant 1. It is question number 14 in paper. Next question. Question number 12. Copper is purified by electrolysis. Which statement is not correct? Option A. Both electrodes contain copper. It is correct. Both the electrodes contain copper. One of impure copper, second of pure copper. Impure copper is anode, pure copper is cathode. B. Copper is both oxidized and reduced in this process. It is also correct. At anode, at impure copper rod, what happens? Copper loses 2 electrons and it is converted to copper ion. Since here we have loss of electron and loss of electron is called oxidation, so at anode, copper is oxidized. At cathode, copper ions gain 2 electrons and it is converted to copper atom. And gain of electron is called reduction. So we can say at cathode, copper is reduced. So here we have both oxidation and reduction. So this one is also correct. Copper is both oxidized and reduced in this process. Option C. Pure copper is deposited on the positive electrode. It is incorrect. Pure copper is deposited on cathode and cathode is negatively charged. So pure copper is not deposited at positive electrode, it is deposited at negative electrode at cathode. So this statement is incorrect. It is asked which statement is not correct. The statement that is given in option C is incorrect. It is not correct. So correct option, option C. What is given in option D? The electrolyte is aqueous copper sulfate. It is correct. Here the electrolyte is aqueous copper sulfate. Here we have copper ion, sulfate ion, hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. So this electrolyte is of aqueous copper sulfate. So this one is also correct. The only incorrect statement is given in option C. Question number 13. Concentrated aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed using inert electrodes until no more chlorine gas is evolved. What could be the pH of the resulting solution? Here we have concentrated sodium chloride. Concentrated sodium chloride means in the solution we have sodium ion, chloride ion, hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. Now hydrogen ions are positively charged, chloride ions are negatively charged. So chloride ion will move towards the anode and hydrogen ion will move towards the cathode, and at the cathode hydrogen will gain electron and hydrogen gas will be liberated. Whereas at anode chloride ion will migrated, and at the anode these chloride ion will lose electron and chlorine gas will be liberated. So here hydrogen ion will be converted to hydrogen gas and chloride ion will be converted to chlorine gas. Now what is remaining in the solution? In the solution we have sodium ion and hydroxide ion. So we can say here we have sodium hydroxide, and sodium hydroxide is an alkali. For an alkali, the pH value is more than 7. Now if we check the option, only in the option D the pH value is more than 7, that is given 11. So the pH value of the resulting solution will be 11 because the resulting solution is an alkali. It is sodium hydroxide, that is an alkali. So pH value will be more than 7. So correct option, option D, where the pH value is given more than 7. Question number 14. Ammonia can be produced industrially from nitrogen and hydrogen. The forward reaction is exothermic, which change would not alter the yield of ammonia. Option A, adding a catalyst. By adding a catalyst, there will be no change in the amount of ammonia. The catalyst just changes the rate of reaction. It just decreases the activation energy, but the catalyst do not affect on the total amount of the product formed. So yield of ammonia will not be altered by adding a catalyst. So correct option is option A. What is given in option B? Decreasing the pressure. In C, decreasing the temperature. In D, removing some ammonia during the reaction. Here this reaction is given in equilibrium state. At equilibrium state, when we change pressure, when we change temperature, or when we change concentration, the yield of ammonia will be altered. The amount of ammonia obtained will be changed. So B, C and D are not the correct options. By decreasing the pressure, by decreasing the temperature, or by removing some ammonia, the equilibrium will be disturbed, and when the equilibrium will be disturbed, the yield of ammonia will be altered. So B, C and D not the correct option. Correct option, option A. Question number 15 is same as in paper 1 variant 1. Question number 16. Oil floats on water. Which statement is not true of oil and water? Option A. Oil and water are immiscible. Yes, it is correct. Oil and water are immiscible. They do not intermix in each other. So this statement is correct. Option B. Oil is less dense than water. Oil floats on water. So oil has less density as compared to water. This statement is also correct. Option C. Some molecules in oil have a higher relative molecular mass than water. Yes, it may be correct. First we check option D. What is given in the option D? Option D. The type of bonding within water molecule is different from the type of bonding within molecules in oil. This statement is incorrect. The bonding in oil and in water it is same. Water is a covalent compound and oil, that is hydrocarbon, it is also a covalent compound. So in water and in oil the bonding is same. In both the bonding is covalent. Here it is given it is different. So this statement is incorrect. And it is asked which statement is not true, which statement is incorrect. So incorrect statement is given in option D. So correct option, option D. Question number 17 is same as in paper 1 variant 1. Question number 18. Which statement does not describe a reduction reaction? Reduction means gain of electron or gain of hydrogen or loss of oxygen. Now we check the options. Option A. Electrons are gained during the reaction. Yes, it is correct. Gain of electron is called reduction. Option B, hydrogen is gained during the reaction. It is also correct that gain of hydrogen is called reduction. Option C, it takes place at the negative electrode during electrolysis. Yes, it is also correct. Reduction takes place at cathode at negative electrode. What is given in option D? Oxygen is gained during the reaction. This statement is incorrect. Gain of oxygen is called oxidation, not reduction. So here correct option is option D, where it is given oxygen is gained during the reaction. Question number 19 is same as in paper 1 variant 1. Question number 20. 1 mole of samples of each of solid carbonates of lead, calcium, barium and magnesium are reacted in turn with excess dilute sulfuric acid. Which sample of carbonate will release the greatest volume of carbon dioxide? Here it is given lead, calcium, barium, magnesium. All are metal. So here we can say we are reacting metal carbonate with sulfuric acid. When we react a metal carbonate with sulfuric acid, we get metal sulfate, water and carbon dioxide. This M represents for metal. This M may be lead or it may be calcium, it may be barium or it may be magnesium. Now here, if we react lead carbonate or calcium carbonate or barium carbonate or magnesium carbonate, same number of moles of carbon dioxide we will get. Since number of moles of carbon dioxide in all the 4 cases are same, so volume of carbon dioxide should also be same in all the 4 cases. But here it is asked where we will get the greatest volume of carbon dioxide. To find out the greatest volume of carbon dioxide, we have to check the solubility of the metal sulfate. Where the metal sulfate is more soluble in water, there is more probability of completion of reaction. So where the probability of completion of reaction is more, we will get more carbon dioxide. If we compare lead sulfate, calcium sulfate, barium sulfate and magnesium sulfate is more soluble as compared to lead sulfate, calcium sulfate or barium sulfate. Since magnesium sulfate is more soluble, so here the tendency of the completion of reaction is more than the other sulfates. In the case of magnesium sulfate, we will get more carbon dioxide gas. So volume of carbon dioxide will be more when we react magnesium carbonate with dilute sulfuric acid. Now we check the options. In option D it is given magnesium. So when we react magnesium carbonate with sulfuric acid, we will get greatest volume of carbon dioxide. Okay, now we have completed up to question number 20. The remaining part from 21 to 40 we will solve in the next session. Thank you very much.